I'll handle this treasure map. It's in 2 pieces. Oh, wow. It's actually from the WWE Board of Directors. Must be some pretty big business. Dear Mr. Laurinaitis. Wow, that is your real name. How about it? We have important news regarding your match against John Cena at Over the Limit. We feel it is important for the WWE Universe to know exactly what they are getting. Okay, that's fair. About to get good. Therefore, your match with Mr. Cena will be one-on-one. There will be no special guest referee. No one is allowed at ringside. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. This one's good. Any superstar who interferes in the match will be immediately terminated. I'll tell you what, don't even read the top half. You should be concerned with this last line on the bottom half. It said, should you, Mr. Laurinaitis, lose this match to John Cena? Then you will be officially terminated. Wait. I heard Cole saying something earlier that John Laurinaitis tonight has some sort of enormous, gigantic, huge announcement that's going to change the very face of all of our lives. This should be totally fantastic. Now that you know you're about to get fired, what is your major announcement? I can get a ShamWow for $9.99?
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, oh yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
Hello and welcome to a jam-packed, news-filled edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Fearon Derry here with you, bringing you a whole slew of news. We're going to get right into it. I'm actually going to skip over the limit for the moment to get to the 3 big stories that were announced over the course of the last couple of days. First of all, WWE announcing, courtesy of USA Network, that effective July 23rd, Monday Night Raw is expanding to 3 hours on a permanent basis. That's right, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw from 8 to 11 Eastern starting July 23rd, which will correlate with their 1,000th episode. Obviously a milestone for WWE. WWE also hyping that Raw will be more interactive once the 3-hour shows begin on July 23rd. Vince McMahon stating, WWE is proud to celebrate this historic milestone with our partners at USA Network. Our new 3-hour Raw represents the next generation in interactive television where our fans won't just watch the show, they will help create it. Now, based on that description, it almost sounds like it's almost like the Cyber Sunday concept, but they're going to have it every week. Maybe for the first hour. There have also been some talks of it kind of being like a pregame, kind of like how on football Sundays you'd have your 1 hour pregame before the games, from 12 to 1. That's kind of what it looks like they're going with for Raw, kind of rehashing storylines, things of that nature. Well, we won't really know until July 23rd. But my question to you out there: Do you think this is a great idea, expanding to 3 hours? Or do you think, well, they can barely fill 2 hours with what they've got? Or are you kind of in the middle, kind of a wait and see? Like, well, we could either get more comedic nonsense and more slipping on banana peels and Brodus Clay and Mama Clay and the Bridge Club and all the other comedic dreck that gets thrown out there, or will we see longer, more quality matches? Or will we see a little bit of both? We'll throw that out there for you. There's already been a little bit of Facebook feedback. Bob chiming in, a weekly 3-hour Raw is a bad idea. It will be more talking and boring segments. Also, a couple of comments I'll bring up on that in just a moment. Oh, Jake obviously agreeing, and Michael chiming in with quantity as opposed to quality, with a couple of greater than, less than symbols thrown in there. So it looks like that they're increasing the quantity of hours to reduce the quality of the show. So if that's the case, do you think Raw would be better, as it was back in the old days where it was just the 1 hour on USA Network? That's something we can definitely throw around as well. The other big news, TNA Impact, not to be outdone, they've announced that they are going to be live over the course of the summer. They announced that Impact Wrestling, usually on Thursday nights, well, it's not moving like it did a couple of years ago, but it's staying on Thursday nights, but it's going to be live starting May 31st, a week from this Thursday. So just under 2 weeks away, they're going to be live episodes of Impact, and that's going to coincide with the show. It is going to be moving slightly, shifting to 8 p.m. Eastern, so it's still going to be 2 hours, but from 8 Eastern until 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights. And the announcement states that it will continue through the summer. So it looks like it's a little bit of a trial run, kind of like what they did by attempting to reignite the Monday Night War that wasn't, by moving over to Monday nights for 9 weeks. It looks like we're going to have a similar trial run with live episodes of Impact. That's right, no more pre-tape nonsense, at least for the next few weeks, starting May 31st. So we'll get your thoughts on that. Do you think that we've heard in interviews in the past with Hulk Hogan, he said that 75% of the company's problems are that they're pre-taped as opposed to live. Do you think he's spot on with that, or do you think there are more inherent problems that need to be fixed? And, well, I don't know. The Sacrifice pay-per-view kind of shows that things are going in the right direction, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Our third piece of big news, and oddly enough, I mentioned Hulk Hogan. It involves the Hogan family. They're going to be mentioned a lot in the hour. Brooke Hogan, of course, the daughter of the Hulkster, has announced that she has signed a contract with TNA Wrestling. That's right, she'll be working with Daddy. However, she noted that she will not be wrestling for the company, but she will be an executive who will be tasked to develop female talent. That's a direct quote. Dixie Carter stating that Brooke is such a great talent who's really sharp and will make a great addition to the TNA family. Brooke Hogan will debut with TNA on that live May 31st Impact show. Dixie Carter adding in a press release, I've really gotten to know Brooke by working with her on her music career this past year and a half. When we did talk wrestling, I not only loved her passion and knowledge of it, but the fresh creative ideas she would come up with. She would go on to say that Brooke is very savvy, and that, yes, savvy is a quote. I asked if she would consider teaming up with me in this capacity while she also worked on her music, and I was thrilled when she said yes. A big personality runs in her genes, and obviously I know she is going to take an already exciting division of Impact Wrestling to another level, end quote. So there you have it. Brooke Hogan, she is going to be now involved with TNA Wrestling starting a week from this Thursday. We can certainly get your thoughts on that as well, and just news all over the place here. And comments galore as well. I'm pulling those up on the Facebook fan page as well. If you want to chime in via the Facebook fan page, you can do so by looking up WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly on Facebook. And, like the group, and certainly leave your comments. Joseph chiming in with a rather large sigh. Dan from Chicago sarcastically chiming in, all right, can't wait. And adding, what does she know about wrestling? Well, I guess being in it and knowing a little bit about it, having a mind for the business, is they're two different things. Dan also following in later, TNA will be gone within a year, so obviously not thrilled with that. And Ross, of course, from the Minnesota Wrecking Crew chiming in, Brooke Hogan signs with WCW, TNA, and Ashley Flair signs with WWE. That's another news story I was going to bring out a little bit later in the news and notes, but yeah, we can throw it in there. Ashley Flair Johnson, of course, daughter of the Nature Boy Ric Flair. She is scheduled to start with WWE Developmental in June. That story, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So, yeah, it's all about family, apparently, this week. I mean, we've got the Hogan family all getting involved in TNA. You've got one of Ric Flair's kids now getting another one of the Ric Flair's kids getting into the business. This to be now the third, as we've already dealt with David and Reed Flair to varying degrees, and now Ashley, it looks like, is going to be getting into the business. So we'll definitely go ahead and get your thoughts. Let me give you the numbers: 215-949-3232, or toll free at 888-922-2149. Let's go ahead and get to the phones. Kick things off with Nick. Nick, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly. Nick, you there? Looks like we lost him. That's all right. Give us a chance to kind of recoup from all that. All that news was so shocking, he was speechless, I guess, as he was listening on hold there. That's my best guess. But yeah, we'll come back. We'll talk the results of the TNA Sacrifice. Also, we'll preview Over the Limit, which is tomorrow, WWE's pay-per-view. I've got my predictions certain to go wrong for that. I actually did half decently in Sacrifice, 2 decent pay-per-views in a row, and actually my record, if it were a baseball team, it'd be a pretty good record. We'll just leave it at that as far as predictions certain to go wrong. We'll get more of your calls. Oh, we got Nick back? Yeah. Okay, we'll go to Nick then. We'll save the break for a little bit here. Nick, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Oh,
there we go. Okay, now we got you. All right, we were having a little technical difficulty there. Sorry about that, Nick. What's going on?
I got a question about your thoughts on John Laurinaitis and the Big Show.
John Laurinaitis and the Big Show. Well, yes, that was a bit of a power trip on John Laurinaitis' part, and it was pretty much an attempt to get something that they've been trying for ages now, but they finally have done enough things to get it to work, is to get the fans really against him. They're trying to make him that evil authority figure, almost akin to what Vince McMahon was 15 years ago, kind of in that same realm, or 14, 15 years ago, but only without the ownership title. And I mean, there were some things that I think were overdone. I will admit that Big Show's ability to kind of cry on command certainly helped. He's I saw a report somewhere that he was like a 7-foot-tall Tommy Dreamer in that regard. But I mean, that definitely added to it and got a lot of people against John Laurinaitis. So will it be enough to have people buying pay-per-views tomorrow to see John Cena rip John Laurinaitis apart? And what do all these stipulations come into play? Is that going to help or necessarily hurt John Laurinaitis? As you heard in the opening clip, of course, that it's going to be one-on-one, no guest referee, nobody allowed at ringside, pinfall or submissions only, so no count out, no disqualification, and any superstar who interferes is immediately terminated. And if Laurinaitis loses, it looks like he will be future endeavored, as has become the new popular verb these days.
Yeah.
I think in spite of these odds being stacked against Laurinaitis, I'll throw out one prediction certain to go wrong a little early. I do think that John Laurinaitis will have some help, and I have a hunch it'll be from someone who's not currently on the roster, as they made sure to emphasize that any superstar who interferes is immediately terminated. So that leaves the door open for a number of possibilities. It could be a recently fired Big Show. It could be Brock Lesnar, who quit. And it could even be Eve, his assistant there, who technically is a diva and not a superstar. So I mean, you can tweak with the language of the statement of the board of directors in a number of different ways and get a few different possibilities out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for having me on.
Oh, no problem, Nick. Thanks so much for the call. All right, now we'll go ahead and take care of some business. That way we can pay bills and keep this wonderful show on the air. And on the other side, as I said, we'll go over the Sacrifice results. I got predictions certain to go wrong coming up. A whole slew of news as well, including more Hogan news, believe it or not. A whole ton of that. Also, a former WWE diva gracing the cover of Men's Fitness magazine. Got that story. A couple of contract renewals. A wrestler going under the knife. and a whole bunch more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly, here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.